We're here in the matter of Saline County Court Case 2019-7 regarding a petition to vacate portions of Mountain View Road and Tony Kelly Roads that have been filed in the county clerk's office. Previously, this court had a hearing on the matter on April 18th of 2019. At that hearing, the petition to vacate the road was actually read. And because there were written out objections filed, I did not make a decision that day, and instead I subsequently appointed 3 viewers to view the road, who then made a report of their opinion in regards to vacating the road and the reason for their opinion. And those reports have been filed with the county clerk's office and are made part of this record. Arkansas Code 14-298-117 states that if the viewer shall report in favor of vacating the road or any part thereof, the court, if it deems the report reasonable and just, may declare the road or any part thereof vacated, agreeable to the report of the viewers. So at this time, I'm going to hear testimony and review any evidence from the petitioners or anyone who objects to the petition. And after that presentation of testimony or evidence and any comments, I will take a short recess to review the information and make a decision. And then after the recess, I will reconvene this hearing and announce my decision. So at this time, the petitioners or their representatives will allow them to come up and speak. If you don't mind, state your name. Right there at the podium, sir.
My name is Dr. David Stewart. I'm a retired family physician, and I own about 60 plus acres of land on Tony Kelly Road. This portion of the land, or a portion of the road, is what goes down to the river. Now, I thought about a couple hours ago, was asked to speak on behalf of the property owners, but what I'm saying is from me. They called me a couple hours ago, and so what I'm going to say may be a little disjointed. My wife, who's disabled, wanted a bath an hour ago, so I haven't had time to really put things in mind, but I'll try to be. I wanted you people to know that I'm not the SOB you think I am, okay? When I was approached about gating the road, the first question I had was about the Michael Sacramone. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I don't mean to disrespect him. But would he have a key or would he have access to the road? Because the last thing I would want would be to hurt a man's business or his livelihood, as I know he uses that road quite a bit to put canoe people in. And I was assured by the other landowners that he would be given a key, which a lot of people didn't know. I knew when this petition was filed that there would be a backlash of resistance, and I accepted that. But I did not think about social media and how it would inflame people. And that is what's happened, in my viewpoint. It was brought out that on social media that the property or the road had been damaged by someone. And I assume by someone, the only people that could do that or would be responsible would be the property owners. And I want to assure all the canoers and everybody, because I like those people that do the canoes and the kayaks and the float those are good people. And I always welcome them when they came by, because those people do not throw trash out. They do just the opposite. They collect trash. And so as I honor those people and respect what they're doing. So a key was offered to him so that this would not hurt his business. Now, one of the viewers, I think, had mentioned that it would damage his business. Now, I'm not the world's greatest businessman, but to me, if he had a key to the gate, it would improve his business. That he would have sole access to the road. Other canoers could ride with him, and it just made sense to me that it would be a better deal for him. So I went, with that in mind, I went along with it. What I didn't expect was what was brought out on social media, particularly that someone had damaged the road to prevent the canoers from, the kayak people from getting on the river. Now, at that time, they couldn't get on the river anyway because everything was flooded. And so that they said the heavy machinery was used to damage this road. Didn't say who, but of course that could only apply to me, the property owner. And I want to assure all the canoe people and the people in this room that no landowner, property owner damaged that road. I'm sure if I took a tractor of mine that I have in Bryant down there and damaged the road, I'm sure the judge would have me behind bars pretty quick. I think that's against the law. And so I went, when the Saline County Road Department came to investigate the road, 100% of them said this was not damaged by heavy equipment or machinery, that it was, and I told them who damaged it, it was the man upstairs. I think he wanted to replace Arkansas's groundwater, and I think he succeeded well. But he did destroy the road, or at least damaged it very severely. So I want the canoers and the people to know that no property owner damaged that road, okay? And we had, a key to the gate was offered, and, but the main thing I wanted out of this was kind of a self-interest thing, is that I wanted it to be brought forward of all the things that are happening out on Tony Kelly Road besides the canoe. When you hear your neighbor is afraid to go down to the river because of people being drunk, having parties. In fact, I remind people that several years back, it wasn't that many years ago, a man was killed down there over drugs, beaten to death. So I have spent a lot of time walking my dog, that's my golf, walking out in the woods out there. I find slaughtered deer, poached animals, people shooting everything that moves out there. I caught one man doing that. I don't think I have a tree that doesn't have a piece of lead in it. When I was in practice, the drugs in this county were spiking upward and upward, and I think in the last 10 to 12 years, it has got, I think we outdo West Virginia. As you know, they've had problems with drugs, so there's drug dealing going on out there. As I said, I've had pieces of swimming pool dumped on my land, mattresses, trash, condoms, needles. And I think I picked up enough panties to put Dillard's women's section out of business. So that was the main thing that I was concerned about, at least to bring light to the fact that there's a lot going on out Tony Kelly Road that needs to be fixed. And that was my main concern, not to hinder canoers, because I like them. And I want them to enjoy the river as I do. So I do want to thank the viewers that you appointed. I won't name his name, but at least one of the viewers had the courtesy, and I respect that, to at least call me to get our view of it. But I want to come away with three things that, again, that I want to reiterate. One, a key was offered for in fact, in my letter to the viewers, I put in there that I like canoe people so well that they could call me anytime and I would come out and open the gate for them. Because I usually study and read till 1 or 2 in the morning and get up at 6 or 7 in the morning. So I'm always in town and I'm in the phone book. So I hope that I've answered enough. Do you have any questions to me, Judge?
No, sir, Dr. Stewart, I do not.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
And I do appreciate the viewers, because I know that, I mean, I don't agree with them necessarily, but I do respect their opinion. I respect the majority rule, and as I said, most of the landowners did not show up because they felt that it was biased, and they didn't stand a chance. I served in the Navy, and I never give up until the ship goes down. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stewart. Is there any other, Mr. Brooks, just have a seat just for a second. Is there any other petitioners or representatives of the petitioners?
My name's Robin Bray, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm not a man. I don't live in Little Rock. I do live in the country. I don't live in a city. I do know what it's like to have a country life. That's just for all you people out on Facebook who talk ugly about me. My really good friends have had a problem at the end of their road, and it's getting worse. I think we all know that the drug problem and the crime problem, especially in the remote areas of the county, are getting worse. And the more we push them off of one place, they just move on to another place. I don't know what the answer is. I know that the sheriff's department is underfunded. I know that we need more officers. They cannot be all places at all times. In fact, personally, we had occasion where we live that we're at the top of a hill. You got to want to get to our house. And some meth head ended up on our porch and sat there and told us some hysterical story at 3 in the morning. It scared the crap out of me. But we had to call the police, but because they were busy, it took them about 45 minutes to get to the house. When something goes, and we're close to town, when something happens at the end of Mountain View or Tony Kelly, it probably takes longer because there's just not enough to go around. And what they do is good. They do a good job for our county, but it's not enough. So the petitioners are here asking that the county maintenance end on the gravel 1-lane portion of Mountain View and those portions of Tony Kelly listed. All the requirements have been met by the petitioners. although they have been accused of being underhanded and doing all sorts of underhanded things all over social media, as Dr. Stewart said. But they haven't. They've even probably been honest to a fault. One of the questions is, and what I've heard answered is, what is the definition of useless? Because one of the requirements of the statute is that the road must be useless. So what does that mean exactly? Arkansas doesn't define it. But I went digging, and the state of Washington defines useless in regards to a county road as a road that is not integral to the county road system. Nothing else, just the county road system. What we're talking about here is not one road, we're talking about two dead-end roads. They do not meet up, you cannot go straight across from one side to the other, there is no bridge, there is no road under the river. They are two distinct, one lane, gravel roads. That's it. And they dead end into the river, and they go no further. Most of the year, these dirt roads are underwater. They might be now, after last night. A lot of times they're impassable. A lot of people don't know where to cross, where not to cross, and they get stuck. And they leave their vehicles there. And then they go wandering up one side of the road or the other, trying to find somebody to get them out. Some of these people are not in their right state of mind. Even in summer, sometimes crossing the river can be treacherous due to rocks and debris that I promise you the landowners didn't put there. There are rumors that the petitioners, this is going around on social media too, which I think is just so wrong, but there were rumors that the petitioners wanted to block a 5-mile section of the river from anybody. That's not even possible. Or there was a rumor that they wanted to dam it and use it for their own personal paradise. Again, that's not possible. You can't keep people from traveling down a river, and nobody's trying to. What the petitioners want to stop is the people who want to use the road only for their nefarious purposes, to access points that are not even visible from the road or from the river. They get off of the road, they drive through the river to get onto private property where they engage in illegal dumping, they engage in, I don't know, drugs. One of the petitioners even found some people and probably engaged in prostitution. Yeah, this stuff goes on back there. Just last week, they found a truck buried in their pasture who had apparently used one of the roads, used Mountain View Road to, and this is not, it's nothing to do with the river, they're using this gravel portion of Mountain View Road to access private property where they proceeded to do donuts in someone's hay pasture, got their truck stuck, left it there, and the petitioners had to find it. I will say this about social media. Some of the people who commented on social media even admitted that they were some of the ones that liked to drink beer and party it up on the river, and they liked doing that, and they didn't want it stopped. Petitioners have found dumped dead animals, needles. I mean, I'm just gonna say this, for those of you who let your small children walk barefoot in that river, God help you, because if you step on a needle, that's a problem. They find beer cans, they find dumped trash, they find dirty diapers. But it's not just on the area down by the river. There are other driveways and accesses along this little portion of dirt road. Some of the petitioners have a camera by their farm. There was a man defecating in their driveway. This can't happen. People park in the middle of this road so that farmers can't pass to get to their fields. And sometimes people park in the middle of the river, which really isn't good for either the canoers or the animals. And while it is true that there are no homes on Tony Kelly, as was brought up, that private property has in recent times been littered on, partied on, illegally hunted and camped on, Mountain View, on the other hand, has had quite a few farms and homes on it. The people have had to deal with the derelicts and the drunks, whether trespassing drunkenly on foot or making the rest of the Mountain View very treacherous by driving drunkenly up those winding roads as they come back to town. Due to the remoteness of these roads, they're attractive to people who want to do bad things. And they're difficult to police, and they're difficult to maintain. Again, I need to make a statement about like Dr. Stewart said, the absolute vilification of these property owners on social media. It has been ugly, and that behavior is just to be condemned. They've been yelled at even for not wanting people on their private property. And that has to stop. I know at least in the beginning, the petitioners were willing to do some sort of compromise. And even some of the loudest naysayers against this road abandonment were open to some sort of timed gate access or keys to the gate, as Dr. Stewart said. These sorts of things would help. And if you take the roads away from the county maintenance, then the landowners would be responsible for maintaining the roads. But also, it would keep these parts of the river accessed clean, hopefully more free of drugs and the alcohol, which would make it more enjoyable to the people who are there for the right purposes, for the people coming down the river. So,
Thank you, Ms. Bray. Are there any other petitioners that wish to speak? Anyone that is in favor of the petitions? We're going to move on to people that want to make comment with regard to objection of the petition. I'm going to ask the same thing, that you come forward and state your name. I'm going to ask that you try to keep your comments brief, if at all possible, and also let's not be completely repetitive, and try to keep this moving in a timely manner. Mr. Brooks.
Thank you, Judge. My name is George Brooks. I'm just a concerned citizen. I live down on Quapaw Road, and Judge, you cannot legislate morality. I have drugs and alcohol at the end of my road on the beautiful creek. But I call the sheriff, and the sheriff goes down and dispenses with the problem. We cannot tell people what they can and cannot do. We live in a society that they're gonna do that. I have lived in the area since 1978. That area I have swam in, my children have swam in, my friends have swam. It's a beautiful place. True, there may be some indigents that don't like it, throw beer cans, and I want to take issue with the fact that you can't get there because of the weather. Yesterday I drove down there. We have catastrophic floods in Arkansas. I drove down to the river, took a photograph of my son fly fishing. So you can get there today, not a bit of problem. Now, it was a clean area. I didn't see not one beer can, not one beer can. So now, not all of us have $50,000 bass boats to go fishing and live on the lake. Some of us have to go down there to swim and recreate with our children. Two places we can go: behind Riverside Grocery and down at the access at Tony Kelly. They've already closed one access that we used to go to, so that's all we got to go. I'm sorry that everybody's not affluent and plenty of money, but we have to go there. Like I said, if we have a problem with drugs and alcohol, call the sheriff. That's what they do. They will come out, they will run them off. That's what I do now to keep my little area going. So, Judge, I want you to consider in the panel that if we cave in on this, what is next? The human that likes to go out and recreate, you're going to shut us down at Riverside, or you're going to shut us down somewhere else? You're going to set a precedent here. That is a community place. It's wide open. That road goes right to it. And I would appreciate if you consider leaving that open. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Just come to the microphone and state your name, please.
My name's Will Corbin. I don't live here, but I was raised here. I love the Saline, and that section of Allen Fork is really, really nice. Now, if people have to go upstream to get in, it's gonna make an expedition, and they'll have to stop, and, that's gonna be a problem. Also, I think if you shut off this section, these roads, and yeah, you can get across, that may be setting a precedent. You may get sued, because that precedent could be used to block off access to other minor streams in Arkansas that people like to get to. Now, I really think you need to put a low water bridge across there, improve the Tony Kelly Road, and have a park there, so ordinary citizens will go there. I don't doubt that there's problem people there, I don't doubt that a bit. But, we need access there. Now, I really appreciate Dr. Stewart's, comments. Canoes and kayakers do clean up. They don't dump junk on the river or make messes. And, access there is important. If more people went there, good folks went there, there would be a whole lot less of the trash out there. But if you had a low water bridge there and Tony Kelly Road was improved where the sheriff could get across there, it might help the situation. Thank you very much.
I'm Robert Walker. I like to paddle. If you close access to the river, I cannot paddle it. Now, when my ex had a dairy, the judge had a list of the working dairies in the county, and the judge kept those roads clear for the milk truck to get up there and collect the milk. I like Saline River Outfitters. I expect them to be there. I like them because I plan to use them in the future. And I would think that the judge would keep the road in better shape for a business. People here are supposed to like businesses. And Saline River Outfitters needs this access for their business. I hear, the petitioners describing so much activity down there. It sounds a lot busier than a lot of other roads I know. And it would seem there's so many people down there, they'd start watching each other, so I have a hard time thinking that it's really true that so much nefarious activity goes on. So I would appreciate it if you keep this access open so I can use the river. Thank you.
Come on.
My name is Lucian R. Gillum Sr. I actually live in Sherwood, but I've canoed Big Piney up at Russellville and the Buffalo River and several other rivers in Arkansas. I think the more canoe people on the river, the less druggies and drunks are going to be up there. It's a beautiful river, and I think having more people up there enjoying the river will help eliminate some of the drunks and druggies. That's all. Thank you.
I'm Bill Harding. I grew up at Peter Bend, and if you know anything about Peter Bend, it's surrounded on three sides with a river. When I grew up, that's where I grew up, and later married, I moved to Mountain View. I lived on top of the hill from the Moore Ford. Used to, we could float the Saline River from Middle Fork, where the narrowest road crosses Middle Fork, and we could make 2 and 3 day floats. Today, the river is closed to access from the narrowest road down to the Moore Ford, which is about a 2 day float. we started, up there at Middle Fork, used to, you could put your boat in where the narrowest road crossed and float from there down the river. And, the old timer from Mountain View and Peeler Bend said that Saline River started where Allen Fork and Middle Fork run together. And just down below there is the Nickel Bill Ford, and you have access to it from the Nickel Bill Road down to the Mailbox Road, but it's closed. Just a little further down the river, South Fork runs in. And just about 2 miles below there is the Smith Ford, and it's been closed for several years. Below there is Moore Ford, where I live. It's still open. And it's also, the old timers called places where the church baptizing the holes. And the Moore Ford was baptizing place. The church where I go, out Peeler Bend, New Prospect Missionary Baptist Church, we baptized many people there at the Moore Ford. But you come on down the river just a little, and you have the Mitchell Ford. It's closed. There's no access there. And a little further down is the Ford, the Paul Wright Ford, which we're discussing today, to be closed. And at one time, they baptized people there, but they had been years. And right below the Ford, 400 to 500 yards is where they used to baptize. And it is a beautiful gravel bar, and deep water and shallow water, and large birch trees that shade it, which make a good place to swim. But it's closed. You can't get down there anymore. And just a little further down the river is the Billy Harrison Ford. It's been closed for years. A little further down the river is the Crouch Ford, and it's been closed for years. Then a little further down the river is the Gleason Ford at Peeler Bend, and it's the one that the Game and Fish Commission built for rental. And it is open. And a little further down the river is the Pete Wilson Ford, and it's been closed for years. So you see, we only have a small amount of access, and you know, I think some of these people is talking about the river, it's hearsay, but I've been there and I know how it is. And I've raised my children on the river, and also my grandchildren now. And I appreciate it if it stayed open.
Thank you, Judge. I'm Ross Nolan, counsel for the Arkansas Canoe Club. I'm an avid paddler myself. There's a few things that I would hope we could clarify today, and also some assumptions that we're working on that I'd like to address. The first assumption is that the county court has jurisdiction over this matter. The state law requires that the 10 petitioners actually be residents of the area where they are petitioning to have the road closed. In the objection that I filed with the county court, we noted that only 2 people list addresses within 5 miles of the